Here's a song that almost never existed. Dream On didn't just become a hit, it took 3 years and a second chance to finally break through. A 3-year-old under a piano, a failed debut, and a label that ignored it for Bruce Springsteen. These are 20 weird facts about Aerosmith's Dream On, and the bonus, sometimes the best songs save you from getting dropped. Plug in your headphones, this story's about to get strange. Number 1. Steven Tyler was just 17 or 18 years old when he wrote the music for Dream On. This wasn't written in some fancy studio with producers guiding him. He was sitting at a Steinway upright piano in the living room of Trorico Lodge in Sunapee, New Hampshire, 4 years before Aerosmith even existed as a band. He had no idea this little melody he was playing around with would become a rock anthem. It was just a kid messing around on a piano. Number 2. The inspiration came from an unusual place, literally underneath his father's piano. When Tyler was just 3 years old, he would lay on the floor beneath the piano while his Juilliard-trained musician father played classical music. Tyler later said in a Rolling Stone interview, that's where he got the chord progression for Dream On. A 3-year-old soaking up classical music on a living room floor became the foundation for one of rock's greatest power ballads. Who knew toddler time could be so productive? Number 3. When Dream On was first released as a single in June of 1973, it was basically ignored. The song only peaked at number 59 on the Billboard Hot 100 nationally. For a song that would eventually become one of the most recognizable rock ballads of all time, that's embarrassing. But there was a reason. Columbia Records wasn't promoting Aerosmith at all. They were too busy pushing Bruce Springsteen's debut album, which came out just a week earlier. Aerosmith got left in the dust. Number 4. But in Boston, Dream On was absolutely massive from day one. While the rest of America slept on it, Boston radio stations couldn't stop playing the track. It became the number 1 single of 1973 on WBZ-FM, number 5 for the year on WRKO, and number 16 on WMEX. The band's hometown understood what everyone else missed. Sometimes your own people know your worth before the world does. This local success kept the band alive when national success seemed impossible. Number 5. Columbia Records gave Dream On a second chance in late 1975, and this time it exploded. The album version was reissued, debuting at number 81 on January 10, 1976. By February 14th, it broke into the top 40. By April 10th, it peaked at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. Same exact song 3 years later, completely different result. Sometimes timing is everything. This re-release earned Aerosmith their first top 10 hit and saved their career. Number 6. There were actually 2 completely different versions of Dream On released. The album version ran 4 minutes and 28 seconds and featured the full intro and both choruses. But the 1973 45 RPM single edit was only 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Most of the intro was cut out, and the first chorus was replaced with the second chorus. Columbia serviced top 40 radio stations with both versions in 1976, so depending on which station you listened to, you heard different versions of the same song. Number 7. Steven Tyler has explained exactly what Dream On means, and it's simpler than you think. In the authorized biography Walk This Way, he said it's about the hunger and ambition to be somebody that Aerosmith felt in those early days. It's about dreaming until your dreams come true. The song captured the desperation of a struggling band that wanted success so badly they could taste it. You can hear that hunger in every note. It's not abstract poetry, it's raw ambition carved into a melody. Number 8. Tyler's vocal style on Dream On was completely different from the rest of Aerosmith's debut album. If you listen to tracks like Mama Kin from 1973 and compare them to Walk This Way from 1975, Tyler's voice sounds neutered and controlled on the debut. But Dream On was the only song on that first album where you could hear a hint of his trademark raspy, screaming vocal style during the climactic ending. Tyler admits he wasn't confident enough yet to unleash his full vocal power. Dream On was the test run. Number 9. Dream On was never supposed to be a guitar song. Tyler wrote it on piano, and he originally envisioned it staying that way. But guitarists Joe Perry and Brad Whitford had other ideas. Brad Whitford explained to Guitar World that the idea was to transcribe what Steven was doing with his left and right hands on the piano, 1 guitar per hand. So they created a 2-guitar arrangement that mimicked the piano parts. Tyler said he never in a million years thought he'd take it to guitar. Sometimes the best creative decisions are the ones that break your original vision. Hey, pretty wild so far, right? If you're enjoying this deep dive into Dream On, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. Because in a minute we hit the master tape mystery, the Eminem connection, and why Tyler performed this on top of a baseball stadium wall. Trust me, it only gets more bizarre from here. Number 10. Aerosmith's first professional stage appearance was on November 6, 1970, at Nipmuc Regional High School in Mendon, Massachusetts. Just under 3 years later, on October 24, 1973, Dream On entered Billboard's Hot Top 100 chart at position 88. From a high school gym to the national charts in 3 years, that's the hunger Tyler sang about. That first gig probably had 50 people in the crowd. 3 years later, millions were hearing their song on the radio. The American Dream and Fast Forward. Number 11. Critics absolutely savaged Aerosmith's debut album when it came out in January of 1973. Most reviewers accused them of ripping off the Rolling Stones and other British blues rock bands. The album wasn't even reviewed in Rolling Stone magazine, which devastated the band. Tyler channeled all that anger and frustration from the press into Dream On. He said the song sums up the garbage you put up with when you're in a new band fighting for legitimacy. Every dismissive review made the hunger in that song more real. Number 12. The original album cover had an embarrassing typo that nobody caught before printing. The song Walkin' the Dog was misspelled as Walkin' the Dig. When they finally printed a second pressing, they corrected the error. But by then, thousands of copies with the typo were already in stores and collectors' hands. Today, those misprinted first pressings are actually worth more to collectors precisely because of the mistake. Sometimes errors become valuable. Number 13. On December 15, 1973, Aerosmith performed Dream On American Bandstand, one of the biggest music shows on television. This was their chance to reach millions of viewers and break through nationally. But it didn't work. Despite the exposure, the song was already fading from the charts. It had entered the Hot 100 on October 14th and only made it to number 59 before disappearing after 9 weeks. Even American Bandstand couldn't save it the first time around. The song needed to die before it could resurrect. Number 14. Rolling Stone magazine has ranked Dream On their 500 greatest songs of all time list 3 different times, and the ranking keeps changing. In 2004, it was number 172. In 2010, it dropped to 173. In 2021, it fell to 199. So apparently, Dream On is getting worse with age, according to Rolling Stone. The same magazine that refused to review the debut album in 1973 now can't decide if the song is great or just pretty good. The irony is delicious. Number 15. In 2007, Aerosmith had to re-record Dream On for the video game Guitar Hero Aerosmith. Not because they wanted to, because they had no choice. The original master recording track from 1973 was missing. Gone. Lost somewhere in Columbia Records' archives. So 34 years after recording it the first time, they had to go back into the studio and recreate their signature song from scratch. It was one of 4 songs they re-recorded for the game. Imagine having to redo your greatest achievement because someone lost the original. Number 16. Eminem sampled Dream On for his massive hit Sing for the Moment from his 2002 album The Eminem Show. But this wasn't just a sample. Joe Perry actually played the guitar solo on Eminem's track, and the chorus features Steven Tyler singing. Eminem added his own ad-libs like Sing With Me and Come On over Tyler's vocals. When Eminem was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2022, Tyler performed Dream On with him during the ceremony. 2 generations, 2 completely different genres, 1 iconic song. Number 17. Tyler has performed Dream On with full orchestras multiple times, and one performance in particular stands out. In 1991, for MTV's 10th anniversary, conductor Michael Kamen led an orchestra through Dream On with Aerosmith. That orchestral version was so powerful it ended up on the Last Action Hero movie soundtrack. Hearing Dream On with strings, horns, and timpani behind Tyler's vocals transforms the song from a rock ballad into a full symphonic epic. It proved the song's composition was strong enough to work in any format, garage band or philharmonic orchestra. Number 18. On August 10, 2010, at an Aerosmith concert at Boston's Fenway Park, Tyler did something completely insane. He performed most of Dream On a grand piano positioned on top of the Green Monster, the famous 37-foot-tall left field wall. Then the rest of the band joined him on top of the wall to close out the song. Imagine performing your signature ballad 3 stories up on a baseball stadium wall in front of thousands of people. Only in Boston. Only for Dream On. Number 19. Dream On appears on almost every Aerosmith greatest hits and live compilation album ever released, plus both of their box sets. It's not just a song, it's become the song. The one track that defines their entire career. The one that casual fans and die-hard collectors both agree is essential. It's on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's 500 songs that shaped rock and roll list. After 50 years, it's still the blueprint for every power ballad that came after. Stephen Thomas Erlewine said it best. There was nothing quite like it in 1973, and it remains the standard. Number 20. Manager David Krebs had to practically beg Columbia Records to re-release Dream On in 1975. After another Aerosmith ballad, You See Me Crying, failed to chart. Krebs kept pestering the label to give Dream On another shot. Columbia finally agreed and serviced both edited and full versions to top 40 radio stations. That decision, reluctantly made by a record label that had already written off the song, became one of the most profitable choices in Columbia's history. The re-release shot to number 6 and established Aerosmith as superstars. Sometimes you have to fight for your own songs even when nobody else believes. But wait, before we hit the bonus fact that reveals how this song literally saved Aerosmith from being dropped, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. We drop new music mysteries every week, and you won't want to miss what we're uncovering next. Bonus fact. Dream On literally saved Aerosmith from being dropped by Columbia Records.
The debut album sold terribly in 1973 because Columbia didn't promote it. They were focused on Bruce Springsteen. Aerosmith was on the verge of being cut from the roster. The band was facing the end before they'd even really started. Then Dream On slowly started gaining traction in Boston, spreading to other markets through word of mouth and persistent radio play. That grassroots success proved to Columbia that the band had an audience worth investing in. The song's eventual breakthrough validated every sacrifice they'd made. Without Dream On's second life in 1976, there would be no Walk This Way, no Sweet Emotion, no Aerosmith. One piano melody written by a teenager saved an entire legendary career. That's the real Dream's survival against all odds. If Dream On shaped your taste, changed your life, or meant something to you, drop a like and subscribe for more untold stories from music history. Tell us in the comments which fact shocked you most. Was it the lost master tape, the 3-year-old under the piano, or the fact they almost got dropped? Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the dreams that take the longest to come true end up being the ones that last forever.